Relationships shape us, sometimes in beautiful ways and sometimes in painful ones. At this point, I want to share something with you before I ask you a few questions. Welcome to my channel, Abuse Insights, where I create contents on abuse topics to include but not limited to childhood or domestic abuse. Today we are going to dive into a very real and sensitive topic: the pain of betrayal. So, a few days ago I came across a video in my WhatsApp. It's of a car completely smashed up. I later shared that same video on a few of my platforms. The caption said, "Look at what she did to his car out of jealousy." Now under that video, someone commented, "You can fix the car, but you can't fix a broken heart. You can always buy this back, but you can't buy what she has sacrificed for you." And I want us to reason on that comment a little bit. Yes, a car can be fixed, but does that mean it's okay for someone to destroy it? Absolutely not. That's not love, that's vandalism. Now let's flip it. Yeah? If it was a man who destroyed a woman's car, you know the outrage would be 10 times louder. Wrong is wrong, and I say that because it is absolutely wrong. Real talk. Sometimes we walk into situations, into relationships, knowing well the truth about the person. Maybe they have multiple partners, maybe they're already married, but still we ignore the signs, we ignore the red flags and allow ourselves to act out of character. Here's the reality though. Don't let someone else's brokenness be the reason you break yourself. When we overinvest in a relationship with no real future, to the point where we lose our peace, our dignity, and even the ability to walk away, truth is, we've already lost. Because you can't control what a grown person chooses to do. But what you can control is how you respond. And choosing peace will always cost less than revenge. So hear me today. Value yourself enough to leave even when it hurts. I have a few questions for you. First, have you ever been in a serious relationship before? If yes, how did it impact you? Please drop your comment in the comment section below. Now, some of us come out stronger, some of us come out broken, but all of us come out different, for sure. Let's go deeper. Betrayal, especially through cheating, cuts very deep. So the next question for you is, if your partner cheated on you, how do you think you would react? Emotionally or behaviorally? Now, emotions can drive us to do things we regret, like the story I've shared earlier about that woman who damaged the man's car out of jealousy. That one. Let's be real, when emotions are high, logic runs low, anger, hurt, betrayal, they cloud our judgment. In that heated moment, it feels like destroying their property, smash their phone, or shouting the loudest word will bring relief. But what happens after? Regret, consequences, and sometimes consequences that last a lifetime. Now here's the truth though. We don't always control our emotions, yeah? They come uninvited, but behavior is a choice. You may not choose how you feel in that first rush of anger, but you can choose what you do with it. That woman didn't have to smash that man's car. She could have walked away, called a friend, cried, prayed, written it down, screamed into the pillow, anything but destroying that man's car. Because once the anger passes, the damage remains. And that's how many people end up with broken relationships, lost opportunities, criminal records, and a reputation that follows them for years. All because of a moment they didn't manage well. How do I sound? So here's the key. Feel what you feel, but don't let your feelings control your actions. Pause. Breathe. Stop. Step back. Ask yourself though, if I do this, what's the cost to me? What will this look like tomorrow, next month, or next year? Why? Because emotions are temporary, but the consequences of our behavior can be permanent. Number 3, have you ever been cheated on? If yes, how did it affect your mindset or behavior? Please share in the comment section if you're comfortable doing so. Sometimes betrayal makes us bitter. Sometimes it makes us guarded, but it also leaves a mark. Now, that mark isn't necessarily a bad thing. Some people hurt seeing it because every time they remember it, it reopens the wound. But let's look at it differently. That same mark, yes, it can also be a symbol of survival. It says, I went through something. I went through this and I came out alive. A scar doesn't just remind you of pain, it also reminds you of your strength. It can serve as a promise to yourself. I will never put myself back in what almost destroyed me. I will never repeat what broke me before. So instead of letting betrayal keep you bitter, use the mark as a reminder of what you've overcome. Let it fuel growth. Let it help you choose differently next time, because your scar, they are proof not of weakness, but of survival. Now let's talk about our brothers for a minute. What do you think makes it hard for some men to walk away from a toxic or harmful relationship? Why is it so hard for some men to walk away from a toxic or hurtful relationship? Is it pride? Or is it fear of starting over? Or is it that haunting thought? I've invested so much money, so much of my time and emotions into this relationship. Is that what it is? I've invested so much emotions into this to just let it go to waste. Now let's break that down for a minute. For some, it's pride. They don't want to feel like they've lost or admit that the relationship they bragged about is not broken. Pride whispers, stay, fight, prove your point, even when leaving is the healthier choice. For others, it's simple fear. Fear of starting over, the idea of meeting someone new, rebuilding trust, opening up again, it feels exhausting. So what they do? They stay stuck. They stay stuck in something that's draining them because at least it's familiar. Nonsense! And then there's the investment mindset. I gave her years of my life. I poured my heart out. If I leave, it's all wasted. No. But here's the hard truth though. Sometimes we have to let go. Yes. Sometimes we make mistake. Sometimes we mistake loss for an investment. Thinking about it like this. If you pour water in a cracked pot, if you throw water in a cracked pot, no matter how many you give, it will never stay full. And the issue isn't the water, it's the damn pot. And the longer you keep pouring, the more you lose. Relationships are the same. If the foundation is broken, disrespected, betrayed, full of toxicity, you can keep pouring your time, money, and emotions, but it won't hold. Staying only guarantees more loss, but walking away, it allows you to stop wasting and start rebuilding. So yes, pride, fear, and investment, they hold people back. But when you really think about it, the question isn't how much have I invested? The real question is how much more am I willing to lose? I have another question here. The next question is a part 2 question. Some men turn to violence or controlling behavior after being hurt. Why do you think that happens? And do you believe men are given enough space, enough safe spaces to talk about heartbreak and betrayal? If not, where can they go instead of reacting out of aggression? Here's my take. They say hurt people, and that's true. When a man is betrayed, rejected, or abandoned, it shakes his sense of identity. For many men, society has trained them to bury their emotions instead of expressing them. To man up, to be tough, to never cry. But when pain has no outlet, it doesn't disappear. It mutates. It turns into rage, control, or violence, because anger is often seen as the only acceptable emotion for men. So instead of saying I'm hurt, some men say I'll make you hurt too. That's not strength. That is suppressed pain expanding into wrong. Should I repeat? That behavior, that mindset, that thinking, it's not strength. That is suppressed pain exploding into the wrong direction. You got it? Okay. Now, do men have enough spaces to process heartbreak and betrayal? Honestly, no. Too often, when a man says he's heartbroken, he's laughed at, mocked, or told to just move on. But the truth is, men need healing too, as women. They need spaces where they can sit with their pain without judgment. If those spaces don't exist, what happens? The pain leaks out through aggression, control, and sometimes even self-destruction. So where can men go instead of reacting with aggression? Again, that's a question. To a mentor, an elder who can guide them with wisdom, to a support groups or brotherhood circles where they're reminded they're not alone. They can also seek therapy or counseling. Yes, it may feel uncomfortable at first, but it's one of the healthiest choices. Even platforms like mine, like this one, conversations, live streams, and communities where we say your pain is valid, but your violence is not the answer. Because here's the truth. Violence is a reaction. Healing is a choice. And when men are given space to talk, to unpack, to be seen not as weak, but as human, that's when cycles break. But remember, before I go, what men need isn't more pressure to act tough. What they need is permission to feel and guidance on how to heal. So, I want to talk a little bit about responsibility and growth. Let's talk responsibility and growth. We're going to look at some solutions. Now let's move into solutions. Because pain isn't the end, it can be the beginning of growth. So let me ask you, what advice would you give to another young man who just found out he was cheated on? How should he handle the anger and disappointment? What advice would you give to a sister too? I'll be first. My advice: don't act in the moment of rage. Stop and breathe. Step back. Find someone to talk to. Healing starts with not letting anger lead the way. What would you tell a man who says, "But I invested everything in her. I can't just walk away"? Family, hear this. What you invest in someone else should never cost you yourself. You can rebuild money, even trust, but you can't rebuild your peace and freedom once it's destroyed. And lastly, and going forward, please, for God's sake, do not give more than you can afford to lose. Okay? My next question: how do you personally deal with emotional pain or betrayal? For me, dealing with emotional pain or betrayal starts with choosing myself first. Yes, I lean on positive coping strategies like praying, journaling, and talking with people I trust, those who can guide me without judgment. But beyond that, it's about loving myself more, knowing my value, and protecting my peace. I've learned that part of healing is removing myself from people, environments, or situations that no longer serve me, uplift me, or drive me forward. That doesn't mean I ignore the pain. It's still there, but it stops me from letting the hurt define me or control my next step. It's about transformation. Each time I process betrayal with intention rather than reaction, the pain becomes a teacher instead of a poison. I grow stronger. I also grow wiser and more in tune to what I truly deserve. So yes, the scars remain, the memories stays, but instead of letting them weigh me down, I use them as a guide to protect my heart, to set boundaries, and to make choices that honor my well-being and my future. Now that's my take on the topic. Remember, betrayal hurts, but your response to betrayal can shape your healing or your downfall. So today, I leave you with this. You, my friend, you can't stop people from betraying you, but you can stop them. You can stop betrayal from breaking you. How do I sound? Sounds good? Thank you for being part of this conversation. Remember to drop your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you have a story or something you want to share that could help someone, please share with us. Please like and share this video as I asked before. And this is Dalian Salmon signing out from Abuse Insights. I'll see you on the next one. God bless you.